No one represents the common man worse than Kamala Harris. I think a lot of this is going to backlash, by the way. I don't think it's going to work. And everybody knows this. The Democratic National Convention, this is the party of the common man, right? The common American, like the blue-collar American. That's what they say. Well, it's weird then, because the Democratic National Convention kicked off with an introduction reminding delegates that the convention was held on land that was forcibly removed from indigenous tribes. Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation Tribal Council Vice Chairman Zach Pamami and Tribal Council Secretary Lori Melchior took the stage at the start of the convention, where they welcomed the Democratic Party to their ancestral homelands. Here we are, together on our ancestral homelands of the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation and our sister Potawatomi nations. We also honor the spirit of other tribal nations who traveled westward to this beautiful area. Welcome to the 2024 Democratic National Convention. To our homelands, this land has and always will carry enormous importance to its original stewards, our ancestors, and our present-day communities. And then they talk about how people were forcibly removed from these communities. This is all part of the settler colonialist theory that animates the Democratic Party. The idea being that Western civilization is strange and therefore bad, and that all of the land that Americans currently live on actually belongs to the indigenous peoples from a couple of 1,000 years ago. Never mind that the story of human migration is a story of population movement and tribal warfare and all the rest. The Democratic Party starts from the premise that America was wrongly founded. That's what the Democratic National Convention starts from. The premise that Chicago is actually not an American city. It is stolen land from the indigenous. Does that sound like a blue-collar pitch to you? How about the DNC platform? So finally, the Democrats have written a platform. Now, it's a little awkward, because it turns out that the original platform they tried to release was chock-filled with Joe Biden's name, talking about his accomplishments. So I guess nobody had time to edit. So they just stuck it out there. And they're like, oh, whoops, we didn't mean Joe Biden. We meant Kamala Harris. Because, of course, they had to steal the nomination from him, which is what they did. But what exactly is in her new platform? Here are just a few of the promises. Healthcare should be a right in America, not a privilege. So nationalized healthcare. They're talking about fighting to protect and expand the Affordable Care Act. But the reality is what they really want is a public option. They want to expand traditional Medicare coverage to include dental, vision, and hearing services, universal preschool for 4-year-olds, guarantee affordable quality child care to millions of working families for less than $10 a day per child, which is not possible without trillions of dollars in expenditures. America's first full national paid family and medical leave program. They want to essentially put in place universal basic income. They want to double funding to repair and expand active transportation and public transit. There's tons of stuff. Codifying national abortion protection, spending more on environmental justice and climate change. It is all just the Democratic machine. Does any of that sound like that is in touch with the concerns of everyday Americans who can't afford groceries right now? Well, Kamala is stealing Donald Trump's actual policies. That's enough to make you insane. Another thing makes you insane is when you're just not feeling healthy, when you're feeling under the weather. The best way to avoid that is balance of nature. Listen, I've got a busy schedule. I'm flying all around the country for work. I'm constantly on the go. It's an election year. That means I have to keep my health at its very best, which means I exercise, I try to get enough sleep, I eat well. Balance of nature fits right into my day-to-day. Imagine trying to eat 31 different fruits and veggies every day. Sounds miserable and time-consuming. Well, with balance of nature fruits and veggies, there's never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure you get a wide variety of fruits and veggies daily. Balance of Nature takes fruits and veggies, they freeze-dry them, they turn them into a powder, they put them into a capsule. You take your fruit and veggie capsules every day, and your body knows what to do with them. It's kosher, so I can put it right in the protein smoothie, which is how I'm just continuing to maintain my absolutely ripped physique. Go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer, plus get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro. Again, balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer, plus get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That is balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer and that free bottle of fiber and spice. We have fake joy, which is actually about revenge. We have fake populism, which is really about intersectional elitist crap. And we have fake courage. So the fake courage was, of course, members of the Democratic coterie suggesting that they are really courageous for stepping out front. Like, for example, the coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr. So Steve Kerr is brought out for some odd reason, and he says that speaking out comes with risks. Well, as we'll discuss in a moment, he's not willing to take the actual risks of speaking out in a risky way. If you believe that in American public life, speaking at the DNC is an actual risk, yeah, sure. Sure, Steve. Uh-huh.
I know very well that speaking out about politics these days comes with risks. I can see the shut up and whistle tweets being fired off as we speak. But I also knew as soon as I was asked that it was too important as an American citizen not to speak up in an election of this magnitude.
Wow, what a brave, courageous fellow that Steve Kerr is. My goodness. I mean, probably so courageous that, for example, if he was asked about Chinese human rights abuses and say the NBA had a lot of money riding on its relationship with China, he would probably speak out, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he? Wouldn't he?
Obviously, the big story in the league right now is Daryl Morey's tweet and everything going on with China. Do you have any thoughts on that situation?
Actually, I don't. I mean, it's a really bizarre international story, and a lot of us don't know what to make of it. So it's something I'm reading about, and just like everybody is, but I'm not going to comment further.
Now that's courage. That's courage. By which I mean, what a coward. Seriously, what a and that is the story of the Democratic Party. Look how courageous we are. We are so courageous. Also, we're going to run screaming from the pro-Hamas wing of the Democratic Party. So just yesterday, Josh Shapiro, who should have been the vice presidential nominee for the Democrats, there's only one problem. He's a Jew. And they couldn't have that. Ain't no Jews getting on that Democratic Party ticket because after all, they got too many people who love Hamas in the Democratic Party base. Here was Josh Shapiro being a coward and running away from that question. No, how dare you? Kamala Harris never said to me anything about me being a Jew. Yeah, no bleep, Sherlock. You think she was going to come out and say, hey, dude, you're a Jew? No way. That's why he wasn't selected, though. So here's Josh Shapiro doing the bidding of the Democratic Party, of course. Coward.
Now, let me also be very clear here. Anti-Semitism played absolutely no role in my dialogue with the vice president. Absolutely none.
Yeah.
It is also true that anti-Semitism is present in our Commonwealth, in our country, and in some areas within our party. And we have to stand up and speak out against that.
Cool. When? What? Want to name a name? How about naming a name, Josh? Or are you too much of a coward for that? I can. Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Kamala Harris's entire foreign policy team. She met with the mayor of Dearborn in secret, who is a full-scale October 7th celebrator. But God, the cowardice, the absolute cowardice of this party. Truthfully, the cowardice. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.